to my channel. So today I'm doing a requested video which is a rundown of all the Moschino perfumes. Now I think that a lot of Moschino perfumes have discontinued, and just to pre-warn you, there is a lot of Moschino perfumes. So this is not a short video. Sit back, get a cup of tea, because I'm going to be running through all the ones that I think that are still available to buy like somewhere. So not all of these are on the Moschino website anymore, but you can still get them from some retailers, so I've included them. And where I can, where I have found them, I've put the links down below so you guys can shop them if you want. If you're new here, then welcome to my little perfume world on the internet. I'm always doing rundowns of perfume ranges like this, so please do subscribe if you would like to see more. So I am going to start off with the probably most sort of well-known famous Moschino perfume at the moment, which is the Fresh Couture from Moschino. I think this is quite well recognized because the bottle is so unusual, being like a cleaning product type spray bottle. I think it goes to say for pretty much all the Moschino perfumes, if you're looking for a classy, complex perfume, then Moschino is probably not the brand for you. The fragrances are fun, don't take themselves seriously, and pretty much do what they say on the tin. So the Fresh Couture fragrance is absolutely fresh. It's got lots of citrus notes in here, like loads of lime, and it's just a simple fresh perfume. There's then a pink version of Fresh Couture, which is called Pink Fresh Couture. This is quite different. So instead of lime, you've got pink grapefruit and lots of floral in here as well, particularly rose. So it really is much more pink fragrance, much more feminine version, but still quite fresh. You've then got Gold Fresh Couture, which is probably the heaviest of the three. There's a really nice fresh pear note in here, but then they've also put vanilla in and some sweet rhubarb, mango, peach, so it's like a fruity sweet smell. I actually quite like it because I like fruity sweet things, but they're all pretty light, pretty inoffensive, and they're not going to last particularly long. So moving on to one of the other ones that you might recognize, Moschino Cheap and Chic. So this came out in the 90s, 1995, and there have been a whole bunch of flankers, like different versions of this over the years, but the original is a musky perfume. There's some lemon and lime at first in the top notes, but it settles into a lovely floral musk. Very 90s. The bottle is so 90s, and I think when I was like 16 I would have loved this perfume. I don't think I had it, but I think I would have loved it in the 90s. So in 2001 we then got Low, Cheap and Chic Low. I find this a little bit abrasive. It's got anise in it, like, you know, like star anise, and then there's also gooseberry, lily, freesia. Reminds me a bit of some of the Gucci Bloom ones. Again, it's not a heavy perfume, but really it's nothing like the original Cheap and Chic. We then got Cheap and Chic Hippie Fizz, which was a really good seller. Back when I was selling perfume, this would be asked for quite a lot. Bit of a niche one, but again, really had its fan clubs. This is a fresh, light, summery perfume. It's got the musky raspberryness of Cheap and Chic, but it's got the fresh notes that you associate with Moschino of citrus. So it's kind of like a light-hearted, fun, yeah, I think the name Hippie Fizz is really appropriate. Then in 2009 we get Cheap and Chic Like Clouds. Now this, like a cloud, is a musky perfume, so I think the name and the branding really work for this. It's kind of like a watery juiciness, almost peachy. You get quite a lot of lotus notes in it. It's a little bit generic, but it's very inoffensive, simple, would be great for a young girl, you know, 13-year-old, because it's just very straightforward and nice. We then have Cheap and Chic Petals from 2013. Ironically, even though this is called Petals, to me this smells of fruit. It's got loads of strawberry in, and also pomegranate seeds. There is a little bit of muskiness in here, a nod to the original, and they've also put ginger in, which gives it a bit of a kick, but predominantly it's a, you know, pomegranate and strawberry sweet one. Again, really young, really nice. So quite recently in 2017 we got So Real Cheap and Chic, I can't say this, it's tongue teaser. This is an interesting orangey perfume. It's like a bitter orange. There's loads of orange notes in here. It would kind of remind me of like an orange sorbet, like a bitter orange sorbet. So if you're an orange fan, this is like the perfect perfume for you. Really nice for summer, and much more updated. You know, it doesn't smell 90s. It smells bit more modern, but just super orangey. Really nice. I wish they called it like cheap and chic orange, or at least made the bottle orange. So carrying on with the orange theme, there's Moschino Funny, which came out in 2007. Now this is a light orangey zesty perfume, but it's got some more woody notes in, which some of the ones we've covered haven't really had. So you've got like a cedary undertone, some green tea and mossy scents, and then a little bit of musk. So it's a little bit more complex than some of the other ones, but predominantly you do get that fresh orange at first when you spray it. But this is a little bit more grown up and slightly different from the ones we talked about already. So we now go into the what I call the heart Moschino perfumes, but they're actually called Moschino Glamour, the original from 2008. Now when I saw the bottle, I thought this was going to be a sweet perfume because it looked to me like that red strawberry sweet. It's actually a floral perfume. You've got sort of orchid flower and hibiscus, as well as like a deep amber musky underneath. And then they use tangerine blossom as the top note, which is quite unusual. It's very pretty, very feminine. I think it's one of those fragrances where if it had been marketed by, say, Marc Jacobs and put in a bottle with a big plastic flower on the top, it'd probably be one of the best sellers. You know, it's a nice generic girly smell, feminine, innocent, can't really sort of fault it. But because it's Moschino, a bit niche, it's not one that's ever going to be in the best sellers. I think the bottle's quite cute, quite nice, good gift for a teenager. So they then released Toujours Glamour, which is also floral, but they've added in some warmer notes. So this is very, very almondy, much warmer. This is maybe like the winter to Glamour's summer. Often perfumes with almond in get likened to Nivea cream because that I think also has almond in, and that has happened to this one as well. I guess it doesn't help that the packaging's blue, but it is a nice warm fragrance, and there are people who are big fans of this, and again it's I think maybe a little bit underrated. There's then Moschino Pink Bouquet, which, just to confuse everyone, is a fruity perfume. So the one called Bouquet is fruity, the one called Glamour is floral. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you've got strawberry in here, pineapple. So you've got raspberry in here, peach and pineapple, super fruity. This will be perfect like on a beach, on holiday, in really hot weather. If you just want to feel tropical and fruity and fun, I think this will be cool. I really like it. And the pink heart is super cute if you're into pink. So going back to the 90s, there was Eau de Moschino, which again stayed around for a long time. You can still get it some places, and this is a sort of quite 90s smell. It's woody, it's musky, but it has some pretty lotus, water lily, peony notes on the top. So this kind of feels like an aquatic woody almost, you know, think like a lake with water lilies on surrounded by a wood. Quite different, quite unusual, and I see why it's stuck around for so long because it is just a bit different and quite nice. Much more recently, 2014, we had Moschino Stars launched. I think the bottle's quite cool. It was around the same sort of time as the Lady Millions, and gold bottles really popular. Unfortunately, this is a Lily of the Valley fragrance, which for me always reminds me of quite old-fashioned scents, and I think as a result it didn't do so well. It's got jasmine, rose, some woody undertones, you know, very typical old-fashioned florals, unfortunately, with some citron and peony on the top, which is nice, but for me this was a bit like predictable, and I don't really understand what it has to do with stars, and I don't think it was anything special, unfortunately, from Moschino. So in 2014 we also got Moschino Toy, which is certainly unique. It's literally a teddy bear, and then you take the teddy bear's head off to get the perfume. Bit creepy, but it really does exist, and the smell very unusual. It's cardamom, lavender, cedar, violets, like woody notes. Again, you know, quite old fragrance note choices, quite sort of, yeah, kind of musty. I wouldn't describe it as a fun fragrance or a light fragrance, and yeah, that teddy bear is certainly different. Then in 2018 we got Toy 2. This disappointingly wasn't in a teddy bear, it was in a teddy bear shaped bottle, and it's completely different to Toy. It's apple, it's orange, it's peony, it's currants, it's fresh, it's fruity, it's simple, it's clean, it has a lot in common with the earlier fresh scents we talked about. Completely different, quite nice, much more modern. And then the last one to mention is the original Moschino by Moschino, released in 1987. People have been wearing it since 1987 and still go back to it. This is a sort of heavy, orientally, florally. You've got nutmeg in here, you've got amber notes, you've got like a sandalwoody, woody base. There's some rose feminine notes in here, vanilla and patchouli, unusually for Moschino. You know, strong, heavy, very 80s, you know, think opium days, but I had to throw it in there because it is kind of the original. So that's my very long rundown of all the Moschino fragrances. Let me know if you've had any of these in the past or if you still wear them. I'd love to know what you guys think about the Moschino perfumes. And do subscribe if you'd like to see more videos of the same. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!